Mitch Marner is leading the way with Captain Auston Matthews on the shelf as the power play has found its legs. Hey everyone, welcome to Inside the Leafs. Rob Wong joined alongside by Toronto Sun Maple Leafs writers Terry Koshan and Lance Hornby. And guys, Mitch Marner has been on fire of late. 13 points in his last 8 games and 6 in his last 3 without Auston Matthews by his side. That line of Max Domi, Matthew Knies, and Marner hasn't had a ton of success since being put together. But with the way Marner is going right now, Lance, does it make sense to spread the wealth when Auston Matthews returns, or do you put number 16 and 34 back together once the captain is healthy?
Oh, I think they have to stay together. I think, Max Domi, there hasn't been a fall off, I guess, in terms of defensive play, but Max, he's kind of a step behind that line. And I think once Matthews gets back, he's obviously going to be very anxious to contribute. And I really think that they should keep that line rolling. Had Domi had more success, buried a couple of chances, the ones he has had, I would have a different opinion. But you have to go back to that and hope that Domi finds himself somewhere else. I do agree with the first part of your question. There is a degree of success there with him, and that's sort of, again, surprising. It's baffled Terry and I for years sometimes how they've been able to put together. I think they're almost 20 games above 500 without Matthews, but I wouldn't say they'd want to stick with that as a regular diet.
Well, I hate to put it this way, but would you rather have two of the best players in the world playing together or keep a journeyman with Mitch Marner, which is what Max Domi is? I mean, let's not kid ourselves here. I mean, he's good dishing the puck and these sorts of things, but he's played for a lot of hockey teams and not a long NHL career. He has 6 assists in 16 games. To me, it's a no-brainer. You put Matthews back with Marner and Knies, of course, and we see that what that line has done. So, 5-on-5, the top line hasn't produced much. Really, no line has for the Leafs. They've been getting by in the power play, which is kind of bizarre. A couple empty net goals, but yeah, it's a no-brainer to me. As soon as Matthews is back, you put him there and you leave him there. Then you move on.
Let Domi earn that spot.
Well, it's not even if I don't know even how he earns it, Lance. He doesn't belong
there. Oh, what I mean, yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah. If you're gonna leave him there, yeah. If there was any door open to have left in there, Lance is right. If they've been piling it up here, I guess, but you're still a better team and a better line with Matthews and Marner on playing together.
Yeah, hard to argue with that, as that trio of Knies, Matthews, and Marner has been one of the best in the league so far this year. Meanwhile, power play coach Marc Savard has gone from sleepless nights to sleeping like a baby, Terry. The Leafs 3 for 38 in their first 12 games on the man advantage, and they're now 8 for 15 in their last 4 games. What have you noticed that may be different of late on the power play?
Well, it's funny. To start, you've got a better net front presence now in Matt Knies. And, we saw it a couple of games ago where he screens for Morgan Riley, is in front on a Nylander goal, and then tips one in himself. So that's working. The entries are better. I think they're able to set up more. Now, this coincides with Auston Matthews, absence from the lineup. So maybe to that degree, without him there, the Maple Leafs aren't as predictable on the power play. To me, obviously, when things are clicking, Auston Matthews makes that go. And you talk about, him being back on the top line of that when he returns. Well, the power play, now that it's got things ironed out, should be able to keep going once he returns. And the other thing, too, is that we talk about creating your own luck and getting a bounce. Well, what happens the other night? Marner puts the puck in the net, hits a Canadian stick, goes to Tavares, who wheels and scores. I'd argue that type of thing isn't happening through the first 12 or 13 games in the Leafs on the power play, but it is now, and they've taken advantage. So we knew all along they were too good to not have this start dropping for them. I didn't know that they'd be 8 for 15, though, that when you're going at just over 50%, that's not sustainable, but it's a good sign. And I just think that a lot of the things they were doing, they just kept doing a lot of things they were doing, but just doing them better now. Net front, zone entries, this sort of thing, and they're finding success.
I'd certainly be there with Terry and thinking that taking Matthews out removes a little bit of predictability for opposing penalty killers. But there's been a lot of little things, I guess. So we talked about about Riley getting a shot through. I mean, that wasn't happening to the point where he had been taken off the first unit, but he's had that in the past. It's finding a hole. Terry talked about that Marner Tavares fluke. There was also the Nylander one, I think, off a body in front, and that changed it. And then that how does Mark Savard teach Nylander to go end to end with right through the Red Sea and score an unassisted goal the other day? So they weren't getting those, and I think it also goes back to Marner. I think Terry and I have really noticed he's playing loose. He's back to the old Marner. He's kind of, right from the start of the game, he's doing those stick tricks, with knocking it around and not missing, and having all his pregame rituals. After a game, he's very relaxed. He's singing in the dressing room. I think his general, his general demeanor, his general looseness, for lack of a better word, has helped. He's out there now, and he's having some fun. He's finding some holes, and of course, he's got, as Terry said, pretty good cast that eventually was going to start having a few drop in for them.
Agreed on that. The one thing I'd add about Marner is so much for the pressure of playing a contract year, eh? The guy, you'd have no idea that, he could face potential free agency next summer, not with the way he's playing. And like Lance says, he is his usual old self, however you want to call it. He's just playing really good hockey right now and playing with lots of confidence.
Yeah, definitely on a roll right now, and it's coming at a good time as the Maple Leafs have a big week ahead with the Senators, the Capitals, and the Oilers on Saturday nights. As always, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. For Lance Hornby and Terry Koshan and Rob Wong, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.